What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What They Teach You in High School. Hey, today we're talking about the Philippines. And if you need to remember one thing about the Philippines, it's that the Filipinos fought for freedom for like 400 years. Welcome back to What They Teach You in High School. Hey, so today we're talking about the Philippines. We're going to be exploring three topics. First, we're going to look at the Spanish and the U.S. occupation of the Philippines. Then we're going to look at the Philippines' central role in the Pacific battles in World War II. And finally, we're going to learn about the Filipinos' fight for freedom that ends at the end of World War II. Let's get into it. Hey, so 400 years is a lot of history to cover, so we're going to jump through some of the first couple hundred years pretty quickly. But here are the highlights. You remember this guy, Ferdinand Magellan? If you said that he sailed around the world, you'd be correct. And where do you think he died? That's right, the Philippines. And he wasn't on vacation, folks. He was out scouting new lands. And who was he scouting these lands on behalf of? The Spanish Empire. That's right. Even though Magellan died in the Philippines, the Spanish still managed to get back there and take those islands for themselves, and thus began the Filipino fight for freedom in 1565. Hey folks, it's trivia time. Here's your trivia for today. Who is the United States president that leads the U.S. to war against the Spanish? Is it A, Teddy Roosevelt? Is it B, William Howard Taft? Is it C, William McKinley? Or is it D, Woodrow Wilson? Hey, that's right, it's C, William McKinley. Okay, so literally one day, Teddy Roosevelt, who is the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, his boss goes on vacation, so he gets to become the Secretary of the Navy for the day. And he literally picks up the phone, calls Admiral of the Navy George Dewey, and says, head to the Philippines and prepare for war against Spain.
Cool.
And McKinley was so nervous to look like a soft and weak guy that he just let it all happen. And that, plus the blowing up of the USS Maine, prompts the United States to go to war with Spain in the Spanish-American War in 1898. However, now is the time to remind everyone that the Filipinos have been fighting for freedom for 400 years, and that there was actually a Filipino revolution happening since 1896 that was led by none other than Emilio Aguinaldo, who embodies the revolution in the Philippines. One Spanish soldier said about the Philippines, I have been in the Philippines for many years, and I can tell you that this is a land of great beauty and great danger. The people are warm and friendly, but they are also fiercely independent. They have a long history of fighting for their freedom, and they will not give up easily. Emilio Aguinaldo welcomed the United States troops onto the beach and fought alongside them in hopes that they would be fighting not for their own conquering, but instead to provide the Filipinos with their own freedom. However, at the end of the war, the Filipinos were shut out of negotiations between Spain and the United States, and therefore could do nothing when the United States purchased the Philippines from Spain for $20 million. When the Filipinos learned that they would not actually be gaining their own independence, the Philippine-American War broke out in 1899. Yet United States leadership consistently viewed the Philippines as a key territory in the Pacific. And even though they paid lip service to the idea of self-government, none of the leaders in the United States were willing to hand over the keys of self-government to the Filipinos themselves. Then, on December 8, 1941 in Manila, the Japanese rained down bombs across United States territories in Guam, Hawaii, and the Philippines, and quickly invaded the Philippines, and in 3 months had the Japanese flag flying over government buildings in Manila. But remember, the Filipinos fought for freedom for like 400 years. And while initially Aguinaldo partnered with the Japanese like he previously did with the United States, with the anticipation that the Filipinos would be given the opportunity to self-govern, yet like the United States and the Spanish before them, the occupier oppressed the Filipinos and life remained miserable. And in fact, during World War II, the Philippines experienced some of the worst war crimes in the world. And yet, the Filipinos fought for freedom. Finally, when the United States liberated the Philippines in 1946 and the war between the United States and Japan ended, the Philippines were granted their independence. Hey, today we talked about the Philippines and their fight for freedom. First, we explored the United States and the Spanish occupation of the Philippines. Then we looked at the Philippines' central role in World War II. And finally, we examined how the Filipinos finally gained the right to self-government. Thanks again for watching What They Teach You in High School. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you know I'm coming next time. Once again, this has been What They Teach You in High School. Peace.